All right, so today we're going to go ahead and talk a little bit about should we one rep max an athlete, or should we have an athlete instead do a repetition maximum to get an estimate of what their 1RM is. So when we're looking over to the side, we're going to go ahead and be able to see different formulas that are based upon expectations for how many reps someone's going to be able to get when it comes to different percentages of their max, and then from there obviously it gives us an estimate. We can run the math either way. You can see Boyd Epley's formula and a lot of those with just a little bit of Googling. It's not very hard to do. But if we decide to go for a true 1 rep max for our athlete, well, it turns out that's typically an entire training day or most of it, and then we maybe hit some light accessories and have them leave. Whereas if we just have them do a rep max as part of their training, so say when we build them up to 80, 85, 90% of their max, we have them take that set to failure, well then we're going to have an indicator of where their maximum actually lies. And then that will allow us to either increase or decrease their training max. So when you're working with athletes, you just have to ask yourself, well, is it worth losing a training day? And if we're working with a collegiate athlete where you can only really get a lot of work with them in the semester, especially depending on if they're around for the summer, they go home for winter breaks. So if we lose one workout and we're only training them twice per week, we might only have 30 total workouts once we factor in finals, dead week, and maybe even other things that are going to come up and get in the way of training. So if we're comfortable losing essentially what would be a little bit less than 4% of the total training stimulus you're giving them, then by all means go ahead and do it. If you're working with athletes like Olympic lifters, power lifters, folks that where their max really is important for their sport, yeah, we want a 1 rep maximum so we know where they're at. And like anything else, the more repetitions they're doing, the less accurate of an indicator of their 1RM it's going to be, along with their muscle fiber type is going to play into it. Really powerful type 2 athletes aren't going to do as well on a 1 rep max or on a rep max, whereas individuals that are very type 1, long distance type athletes, they're going to do really good on high rep max tests. So keep that in mind whenever you're working with your athletes. But when in doubt, you need to run the experiment, see how things go with your athlete, and then change the program from there. Thanks as always for listening. Have a great day. If you have any questions, please leave it in the comments. Bye-bye.